boss.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, there's a lot of rumors going on around here that our company's being sold.
Well, the deal finalizes today, so I can confirm the rumor.
Are we all going to lose our jobs?
Well, I get to keep my job, so I wouldn't worry about it.
So we're all going to get to keep our jobs then?
No, I just make it a habit not to worry about anybody else's job.
Hi, I'm Holly, and welcome back to another Weirdness Really Bad movie show, where we bring the public domain to you, the public.
And there's a really good reason that we bring you these public domain shows.
Because nobody's seen them in a very long time, if ever.
See, that's a really good reason.
And because it doesn't cost Dave anything to bring them to you.
And that's an even better really good reason.
And because we throw in some of our own comedy sketches that at the very least will leave you smiling, if nothing else.
And it also includes a classic kids cereal, and today it's another Diver Dan episode.
So let's get it out of the way, Dave.
Get what out of the way?
Well, you never want to tell us what this week's show is. Instead, you always come up with some ridiculous clue.
Holly, you call this a ridiculous clue?
No, I call that a pair of handcuffs.
Right. Now, help put them on me, will you?
Well, sure, I'm always in favor of putting you in a situation where your hands can't get you into any trouble.
All right.
There. Now that you're wearing your ridiculous clue, what is our show for this week?
Well, our show for this week is The Lockup.
That's actually not a bad clue, and a really good way to keep you busy for the rest of the show.
Don't worry about that. I'll have this out. Faster you can say, Harry Houdini. Oh.
Really now?
He'll be off just like this.
You do know Harry Houdini is dead, right?
Just like this.
You know what? We better take a break and then start our show.
Just like this. I don't understand if this worked on the Penn and Teller special.
We'll be right back.
Like this. Like this.
Hey, excuse me.
Yeah.
Got a light?
As a matter of fact, I do. I always like to keep an extra one here handy just in case you need it in an emergency. And you can keep that because I have plenty at home.
Oh, thanks. Oh. Oh, okay. Please.
Hi, I'm Grace, and here's another aging tip. You know, it's not the pace of life that should concern you. It's that sudden stop at the end.
It's time for another episode of Diver Dan. Diver Dan, a mix of live action, puppetry, and 2 huge fish tanks. Episodes were shot in 1961 and sold to local stations for kids programming. The show was first developed at a Philadelphia TV station. When CBS did not want the series, rights were bought back with episodes sold in syndication, mostly to NBC station. So, get ready as we present episode number 9 of Diver Dan, Murder Inc. Let's get started.
You know, in this deep there's adventure and danger. That's where you'll find Diver Dan. The sights that he sees are surprising and stranger than ever you'll see on the land.
A fight in the dark, in the sea black with ink. Our friends are so fearful their hopes start to sink. Never before has the end seemed so near. What fortunes face them to free them from fear?
Oh, dear. How can we ever rescue the magic telephone now? We can't even see into the Baron's cave. The prognosis isn't too good. You still there here, Baron, stupid? Quiet, you fool. My secret weapon has done the trick. Yeah, that's great, boss. Hey, grab that fish. I got one of them by the tail. If you hold him by the gills, I'll give him a hot fin. Ouch! That's my tail you're holding, you idiot. Oh, sorry, boss. How many times must I tell you to report to me as Baron Simpleton? Oh, sorry, Baron Simpleton. Dan, I have an idea. We can send Seabiscuit to Miss Minerva for help. She'll surely know how to combat the Baron's secret weapon. That's a good idea. Seabiscuit, can you hear us? Seabiscuit, do you think you can reach Miss Minerva and ask her for help? Oh, here comes Sea Pony in a big hurry.
Dear, Biscuit is alone. How worried he looks.
Trouble.
Whatever is the matter, Seabiscuit? What? That dreadful Baron has blinded Diver Dan and the others in Octopus Inc. Oh, dear. We might have known the Baron would do something dark to get his own way.
Oh, Baron, hip, bad, hellfish. Glowfish.
Oh, Gabby, how right you are. The glowfish is our only hope. With his miraculous headlamp, he can lead our friends out of the Octopus Inc. into the light again. Quick, Seabiscuit, to the bottomless pit. Summon the glowfish and lead him to the rescue.
Is that you, Seabiscuit? I'll be right with you. Just let me finish recharging my batteries. Carry on, Seabiscuit. Well, it looks like time is on the Baron's side. I'm afraid so. And I've known it to take many hours for this Octopus Inc. to go away. Well, that's Seabiscuit rounding the bend. Look, look! He has glowfish with him. Oh, bless my starfish. I knew Minerva would never fail us.
Oh, Glowfish, please, lead us out of this awful ink.
Wait, Georgie. First things first. Don't you think the Glowfish should rescue the Shellophone first and then show us the way out of this octopus ink?
Oh, yes, you're right, Dan. Glowfish, the Baron and Trigger have Miss Minerva's magic Shellophone concealed in the Baron's cave. Do you think you can snatch it away from them?
I'll see what I can see. Well, Glowfish, that's more than we can do at this point.
Curses. More of their fancy tricks. What's up, Puss? What is that strange glow over there? Something is wrong. And call me Baron Useless. Okay, Baron Useless.
He got it. The Glowfish got the Shellophone. Well, now, please, show us the way out of this thing.
Let's get the Shellophone back to Miss Minerva as soon as possible. Oh, she'll be so glad to see it.
Yes, the Shellophone will be safe there. Now that Miss Minerva is on the alert for the Baron. Oh, boy. Are you all right, Glowfish? Why don't you fellas hurry ahead to Miss Minerva with the Shellophone? Doc and I will make sure the Baron doesn't overtake you and get the Shellophone back. Look, our friend the Glowfish is in trouble. He's collapsed. I was afraid this might happen. The thin water up here and that heavy Shellophone have brought on acute anoxia. Quickly, we must get him back to the bottomless pit. Yes, yes. But can we get him there in time?
The Glowfish has saved our friends from the ink, but now his life ebbs as it hangs on the brink. Will Dan and Doc Sturgeon reach the pit without strife and bring the good Glowfish soon back to life?
He moves among creatures of frightening features, flashing teeth, flashing jaws, flapping fins, snapping claws. He protects and he aids his friends under the waves. That's where you'll find Diver Dan.
Reading the personal ads?
Yeah, I try to keep up with them.
You know, have you ever placed one of those ads?
I have once, but only once.
And?
Well, I rented a post office box, and I placed the ad. It said, "Husband wanted."
Well, what happened?
I got hundreds of responses from all over the country, and they all said the same thing.
What did they say?
"You can have mine."
Oh, if you would have told me that, I would have saved you the price of a P.O. box. You want to see a picture?
No.
My loss.
How's it going, Dave?
Not so good, Holly. Give me the key, will you?
Why would I have the key to your handcuffs? Well, anyway, it's time to start our show, and today's show is Lockup.
Now, Herbert L. Maris was a real-life corporate attorney in Philadelphia who devoted a lot of his spare time to helping out people who were wrongly accused.
And it's his files of these cases that were adapted for episodes of Lockup.
Now, Lockup filmed 78 episodes, which were syndicated by ZIV Television.
And today's episode, Hurricane, first aired on May 13th, 1961. So, how's it coming with the handcuffs?
Well,
let's see your hands.
Hey, look, I told you I could do it.
Yeah, let's see the other one.
Well, almost anyway.
How did you do this?
Yeah, a better roll to film, Eugene.
Don, this is Herb Maris. I just got a wire from Paul McKay. Listen to this. Imperative you come immediately, very ill. Must reveal truth about Costa case. Armiston not guilty. Address?
Dunes Cottage, Piper Beach, Florida. Yeah, I got the same message. Listen, I tried to reach McKay. His phone was out of order. And I found out that the nearest sheriff is 60 miles from there, and they've been alerted that a hurricane's heading their way, so he couldn't send out a man to check.
I don't want anyone else handling this. McKay wants to see us.
Listen, we don't even know if he sent those telegrams. And Herb, with a storm coming up...
You might get wet. Anyway, the case has been closed for 5 years. Never mind the arguments. I'll go myself.
Keep your shirt on, Herb. Listen, I was only trying to be logical. And, after all, what's a little hurricane when a client of yours is involved? I've booked 2 seats on the 7 a.m. flight.
Okay. I'll meet you at the airport. 5 years before, I had defended a man named Harry Amaston on a charge of murder. He was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment on the testimony of Paul McKay. Now McKay's telegram said he wanted to tell the truth.
I don't care how important it is. Piper Beach is a 2-hour drive from here in good weather. You gentlemen ever been caught in a hurricane before?
No, but if it doesn't get much worse than this...
Much worse. Mister, this isn't even a breeze compared to what's coming.
We're wasting time.
Listen, how bad does it get?
Well, let's say you're crossing the Keys on the open highway when it hits.
Yeah?
You'll hear something like nothing you've ever heard before. Then all of a sudden, your car is going to be lifted into the air like it was a piece of paper.
Oh, never mind. I get the idea. Well, Herb, nothing we can do but wait till it's over.
The highway might be impassable after a week. His wire says he's very ill. We can't wait that long.
Have you heard the girl? We can't make it.
Suppose we take the old swamp road. It's longer, but it offers protection from the wind. There wouldn't be any traffic.
Miss...
Mister, I'd like to get home.
Please?
You want to commit suicide? Here. I can't stop you. Fill this out.
You really going to try to make it?
No sense you're coming along.
Hell, you can say that. Much further?
Shouldn't be.
You must have driven this before, Herb.
How'd you know?
Couldn't follow the curves in this miserable trail otherwise.
Twice.
And all this way to see McKay, huh? What for?
See if he changed or add anything to his story. He didn't. Now, these telegrams put a different light on the matter.
If he sent them, why did he lie in the first place? He didn't even know Armiston or Costa.
I don't know. Now, that murder weapon was never found. Always wondered about that.
Can't see a thing in this miserable rain. Well, seems to me we could have passed the McKay place by now. Well, hold it.
We made it.
Yeah. Who's that?
You have no right to force your way in. Mr. McKay sent for us. My name is Maris.
This is Lieutenant West.
Who are you? Harry Colton. McKay's son-in-law. It's my wife, Phyllis. I was trying to stop her from going for help. She couldn't have made it. We've had some trouble there. Her father had an accident and
Mr. McKay? How seriously was he injured?
Is that the doctor? I'm afraid he's too late. Oh, it's Mr. Maris, the attorney. I remember you. How do you do?
Too late.
Yes, my husband just died.
What happened, Mrs. McKay?
I don't think I know this, Jet.
Lieutenant Weston, Mrs. McKay.
How do you do, Lieutenant?
Would you tell me what happened?
Well, my husband had been ill for some time. It was his heart, you know, and he died very peacefully.
My wife's very upset. I'd like to take her to her room.
Just a minute. You said Mr. McKay had an accident.
What? Well, I mean, he fell.
I told you my husband died of a heart attack, Mr. Maris.
Before he died, did he say why he'd sent for us?
He'd sent for you? No, I didn't know that he'd sent for you. Is that the reason you're here?
Did he mention wanting to tell the truth about the Costa murder?
My father was a good man. He'd never sent an innocent man to prison.
He did say something, Mrs. Holden.
I was with him when he died. His last words were that he'd originally told the truth.
It must have troubled him if those were his last words.
I don't know. The man's dead now. If you'll excuse us.
May we see your husband, Mrs. McKay?
Why do you want to see him? I told you he's dead.
We understand that. If you don't mind.
I understand you. You want to pay your last respects.
Yes, in a way.
All right, would you just put your things over there? He's upstairs.
I realize how difficult this is. Mr. McKay, how did he get that cut on his forehead?
Well, Paul had been sleeping most of the day, and according to Eric, when the storm started, he awakened. I suppose it startled him, and he suddenly jumped out of bed, fell and hit himself.
Where did he fall?
Eric said that he hit himself in the bureau.
Excuse me.
What happened to the room, Mrs. McKay?
The room? How strange. Do you think he could have been looking for something?
Who, Eric?
Oh, I see what you mean. No. He was probably looking for some pills that he couldn't find of Paul's. Yes, that was it, because that was why Phyllis ran outside and tried to go to town to get them. Well, gentlemen, if that's all right.
Mrs. McKay, how sick was your husband?
6 months ago, the doctor told me that he couldn't last the year. And 2 weeks ago, he suffered a severe stroke, and I knew that the end was near.
But could we talk to your son-in-law now?
Yes, I'll get him. You can wait in the library.
Cut on his forehead? Superficial. He couldn't have gotten it falling against that bureau.
How do you know?
All the edges are smooth, even the corners are round.
Why are they lying to us? What's happened?
This explains why the phone was out of order last night. But why would anyone cut it?
To keep him from phoning after they found out he'd sent us the telegrams?
You want to see me?
What happened to the phone, Eric?
I'll be darned.
Let's stop playing games. This cord was cut.
What's going on, Holden?
Well, there's no sense trying to hide anything. I should have told you the truth right off the bat, but I didn't want to hurt Phyllis. Agree?
No, thanks.
Well, the truth is, well, the old man sort of went out of his mind toward the end. He kept saying all kinds of gibberish.
What do you mean by gibberish?
Well, you know, completely senseless. Talking about things that happened 20 years ago as if it was happening now, and he kept sneaking in here to call people. Well, I finally had to cut the wire to stop him.
I see. I guess that explains the papers strewn around his room. Did he do that, too?
Yeah, no rhyme or reason for it at all.
According to your mother-in-law, you did that. She said you were looking for something.
Well, the note for the money I owe him, well, she's wrong, and I'll pay every cent of it as soon as I can.
How much was the note for?
$75,000. I need it for my business, but I'll pay it back. I didn't touch anything in his room.
You didn't even look for pills?
Well, what for? He was dead.
How did he die?
How did he die? He had a heart attack. I mean, that cut in his forehead. Well, he fell out of bed when the attack came on.
Eric, we've given you a couple of chances to tell the truth. I guess you just don't want to, is that it? What are you holding back?
It's all right, Eric. You can tell them.
Shut up, shut up. Phyllis, you let her talk, Eric.
I did it.
Here's a quickie quiz. Question: what's the most popular sandwich everywhere? Hamburgers. And where do we get the best hamburgers? Here at our refreshment stand. Our hamburgers are made of selected inspected meat, seasoned to perfection, cooked just the way you like them. How about a hamburger? Or through, right now.
The favorite of young and old alike. The smooth, flavor-rich cream, heaped and overflowing, delicious, and refreshing.
Ah, snow cones. Here's a refreshment, icy cold and superbly delicious. So get one now. We've got them in your favorite flavor.
Whatever Phyllis had wanted to say was lost in the roar of the wind. Now, as we watched Eric revive her, it suddenly occurred to us that the girl was suffering from more than just grief. It was as if she had experienced a traumatic shock.
That's enough. She's coming around.
I don't want to question, understand?
What was she trying to tell us?
I don't know. She doesn't know anything.
I had a terrible nightmare. I killed my father.
It's just a nightmare, darling. Everything's all right. You close your eyes.
But it seemed so real. We were at Mother and Father's place. My father and I were in the library. He hit his head against the corner of the desk.
It didn't happen, Phyllis. Get it out of your mind. You don't want to remember. Understand? You don't want to remember.
Look here. Traces of blood.
It might be dangerous to question her at the state she's in now.
What do we do? He's trying to make her forget whatever it was that happened.
Apparently, she doesn't know where she is. Maybe if I get her mother.
Good idea.
They're Paul's papers. I was passing by and the door was open and they were burning.
You're implying that either Phyllis or her husband did this? Why?
Mr. Maris, Phyllis isn't well. She does so many strange, unaccountable things these days.
She was in the library with her father, wasn't she? She tried to stop him from using the phone. That was when he died, wasn't it, Mrs. McKay? Why did she try and stop him?
Please, Mr. Maris, don't ask me. I'm her mother.
Let's go into the library, Mr. McKay. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Or it's just a nightmare. Or it's all forgotten.
Yes. All forgotten.
Phyllis, your mother wants to talk to you. You're in Florida, in your mother's home. Talk to her.
Phyllis, dear. It's all right. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Why did Phyllis burn your husband's papers?
I don't know.
Why did she stop your husband from using the phone?
Please don't ask me these questions. I don't know.
Mrs. McKay, your husband fell when he was in this room. Will you tell me what happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
Phyllis, you're in the library. What happened here between you and your father? That's your father's portrait, isn't it? You're in his library. Remember when your father had that portrait painted? It was when he decided to go into politics, wasn't it? Just about the time that Costa was murdered.
Costa?
No, Phyllis, you keep out of this.
Costa. You remember? It was 5 years ago. A man named Harry Armiston was convicted of that murder. Armiston? He was an unemployed clerk who'd invested his life savings in a stock deal that Costa had promoted. The stock was worthless. He went to Costa's office one night and demanded his money back. Your father was in his office across the hall. He said he heard Armiston threaten Costa. Then there was a shot, and Armiston ran out. The police picked Armiston up later that night. In his panic, he'd left his worthless stock certificates there with his name on them. Armiston swore that Costa was there when he entered the room, dead. He was killed by a .22 caliber bullet. The murder weapon was never found. Armiston was convicted on the strength of your father's testimony.
Father didn't know either one of them. He didn't want to testify. He dropped out of politics right after the case. Eric was working with him. That's when I met Eric.
Think hard, Phyllis. Your father wanted to change his story the night that he died. What happened?
It didn't really happen. Eric told me. It was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare, Phyllis. Don't leave her alone.
What was your nightmare, Phyllis? Tell us.
We were in Florida. Father was very ill. He asked me to send 2 telegrams. They were identical. I sent them. Then, a storm was coming up. Father was afraid the men he was expecting wouldn't arrive in time. He asked me to help him to the phone. It was in the library. Then he discovered the line was cut.
Never mind, Phil. It's all right, dear. It's all right.
He had a heart attack. He fell and hit his head against the corner of the desk. I want to get help. He says, wait. I want to tell you something. Aniston didn't do it. The proof is in the letters. Oh, Father dead. It's my fault.
No, Phyllis, it's not your fault.
I didn't catch him when he fell.
That cut on his forehead didn't kill him. He knew he was going to die. He was trying to tell the truth. You were helping him, Phyllis. What was the proof that he was talking about?
I don't know.
The murder weapon.
Phyllis, did he tell you what the proof was?
She's told you all she knows. It's the truth, she was with her father.
But you know what the truth was that he was talking about, Mrs. McKay, don't you?
No, I don't know. No,
It wasn't until he died, and Phyllis told you what he said, that you knew that he'd kept that murder weapon all these years. You searched his room. You got the phone. You burned his papers.
I did it to protect Phyllis. She idolized her father, and I knew what it would do to her if she found out that her father was a murderer.
Your husband killed Costa.
No. No. My father wouldn't murder anybody.
Phyllis, dear, you don't understand.
Mrs. McKay, there was no connection between your husband and Costa. We checked.
Oh, yes, there was. Costa had proof. It was a long time ago, and Paul was involved innocently as a silent partner in one of Costa's stock swindles. He broke away. He tried to make amends. And one day Costa showed up.
Blackmail?
Yes, he found out that my husband was going to run for politics, and he declared himself in. Paul's whole future was at stake. He had no alternative, don't you see? He had to kill him.
What did he mean when he said the proof is in the letters?
Oh, I don't know. How would I know? I don't know.
Jill, we made it fine.
You mean you got there all right?
It was a breeze, as they say.
Matter of fact, miss, you were wrong. The car didn't go like this at all.
It didn't?
It was more like this.
The Weirdness Really Bad movie sadly presents the Weirdness Thought of the Week.
I wish that I had either more energy or less ambition.
And now, it's showtime.
Look at this, Dave. You did well, didn't you?
You know, Mike, I have to say, this is the best day I've ever had at the track.
Hey, you know what? Maybe you can help me out. I could really use some change here.
Sure, what do you need?
Can you give me 2 tenths for a 5?
Sure, and there you go.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Wait a minute. 15 bucks just went south here.
You trying to say I cheated you?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, fine. Here's your 5 back. Give me 2 tenths.
Okay, there you...
Thank you.
You just did it again. Okay, look. I'm doing it this time.
Okay, great.
Here's 2 tenths. Give me that 5.
Okay.
Here.
What's all this for?
I just thought I'd save you time.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's see. Here is 20 bucks.
Oh. What's this for?
Well, you came all this way, spent all that gas money, you know, cover your expenses.
Well, gee, thanks.
Don't worry about it. You can pay me back next week.
Riding the rails isn't what it used to be. For a new convertible motor bus that runs just as well over railroad rails as it does over the highway has been put into service here. Leaving the city, the driver very easily flips some convenient levers. Down come a pair of small guide wheels, both in the front and at the rear. They're locked in place. A complete change from road to rail in less than 1 minute, and we're off down the steel highway, out of traffic and with no more stoplights to watch. Rubber tires on shiny steel rails. Perfect riding comfort at all speeds. Not a bump in a carload. Rubber tires grip the wheels better. No slipping, no skidding. Watch out for those cars. No chance for an accident when we can stop like that. It's expecting a lot to think that a train will stop at a crossing, but this new rail bus can do it. The miles fly by in a hurry, and here's the highway again. Miles saved by the rail shortcut. Up come the guide wheels. We're back on the highway again without even a stop. Right down to the center of the village, where we leave passengers and pick up packages for the city. The compartment at the rear is large enough for express, in addition to passengers' baggage. All aboard? $18.98 produced this high-powered bit of advertising. In case the picture alone didn't overcome your sales resistance, a line at the bottom was sure to get you. 15 of this style sold in actual use and giving complete satisfaction. In 1899, motorists were offered this version of the family car. If you wanted to buy one of these in 1899, you sent stamps for a catalog and received estimates by return mail. For the first time in 25 years, a motor car drives down one of the shortest and narrowest streets in the world. Once, the broad highway of a Spanish king. No, it's not an alley, it's Treasury Street. Strictly one-way traffic and no double parking. Thinking of decorating your car? How's this for an idea? It's open season again on bathing beauties, and the fellow who offers a ride to the beach may be getting himself in for a real job. This might easily be termed the toughest driving test known. 20 perfect reasons for a driver to take his eyes off the road. Just the official Miami Beach bathing beauties for 1935. Hitchhiking a ride to the sand and surf playground. All off, girls. End of the line. Scram. And the last one in gets sunburned.
Brothers. As you know, there's two famous brothers. There's the Ritz brothers who made 18 films, and then the Marx brothers who made 16. But today, we are going to look at the Marx brothers. Ritz brothers. God.
Hey Sharon, did you see that? A gorilla just pushed a grocery cart and got a bunch of bananas.
See what, Dave?
Oh no.
Welcome back to the premiere of Welcome back from our Ritz Brothers movie. Now, when you think of great movies, there's two brother teams who come to mind. The first is the Marx brothers, who made 16 films, and the Ritz brothers, who made 18 films.
And the Wright brothers, they flew pretty good.
They sure did. They sure did. And we're going to look at...
So, are you going to tell me, Sharon?
Tell you what, Dave.
What you're going to do for the assistant carrot eater there, as how he let me stay here?
Oh, it's not what I'm going to do for him, but rather what I'm going to do for you.
Really? What are you going to do for me?
So, I am concerned, Dave, about this crazy gorilla that you claim to keep seeing. Anyways, Century Fox bought the rights to the stage play for the Wright brothers movie, The Gorilla, in January, and it was set to begin filming in January.
But the Wright brothers.
Al passed away in 1985, or rather 1965. It was his brother Harry that passed away in 65, followed by Jimmy in 86. That's still backwards. Well, I'm very concerned about this so-called gorilla that you claim to keep seeing.
But I do keep seeing a gorilla.
What seems to be the problem?
A shrinky? You call it a shrink? Are you a shrink?
Tell me, did you ever get lost at the monkey eyes?
You don't have to see it to kill it with Blitz. New Blitz doesn't need a direct hit. Blitz vapor goes anywhere. So if there's an insect there, you're sure to murder it with Blitz.
New Flit Flying Mosquito Killer, for instance, works the way an exterminator does.
New Blitz doesn't need a direct hit.
New Flit releases a superfine mist, which spreads as a potent vapor. Smells pleasant to people, but quickly knocks annoying flies and mosquitoes out of the air. How about that?
Blitz vapor goes anywhere, so if
behind furnishings, on top of moldings. I mean, in all those hard-to-reach places like...
Your choice of murder is Weirdness.
Now you can really protect your house against flying insects because...
You don't need a direct hit with Flit.
Oh, get new Flit Flying Mosquito Killer today.
That's it for our show this week, but you can spend more time with us anytime, day or night, at our website at weirdnessreallybadmovie.com, where we have over 150 videos for us to spend more time together.
Or you can assert time with us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/TWRBM or The Weirdness Really Bad Movie, and you can see where we are and what we're up to.
You can also spend your probation with us by sending us an email at reallyBadMovie@rocketmail.com. We'd love to hear about your favorite shows or favorite sketches. We'd love to hear from you. But now is Dave's moment of truth. Dave, let's see your hand. And now the other one. Wow, Dave, I have to say, I am really impressed. What the heck?
And we'll see everyone next time on the Weirdness Really Bad Movie Show.
You are so never showing another episode of Lock Up again.